Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is: Are traditional marriages outdated? On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I talked about: Are you doing enough to reduce your risk of cancer? You could head on over to Intellectual Radio on YouTube and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is: A good marriage is one which allows for change and growth in individuals and in a way that they can love and express themselves. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, do me a favor, like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady Rochelle, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Monday.
Same to you. We again, 5 more months left in this year. It'll be 2025. I see
Wow.
we got a new intro up. I haven't seen that intro before.
It's kind of old. I normally play it when I do shows from the home front. So
Okay, well, we got to stay in the studio then.
you don't like it?
We're gonna have to build a studio in the home.
Oh, in the home. Oh, okay. Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. Well, I'm
This way, you ain't
excited.
never got to go out. I'm excited about this one too.
I'm excited about this topic on today. Like, so many people are opting out of marriages. So the topic today is: are traditional marriages, that is, outdated? Have you heard someone saying to you, no, yeah, I don't want to get married anymore. Yeah, that type of marriage is not for me. I'm sure we've all heard someone say those particular words to us, that we don't need rings, we don't need paper, we don't need the government to get involved. And then on the other hand, you have people to say, oh yeah, I need that. I need that security. I need my last name to be changed. I need us to become one. So there are some mixed reviews on if you want to get married or not. So our traditional marriage is outdated. And so while we're waiting on Resolve to come back in, I'll give you some statistics. Marriage rates have plummeted. It says more young people are delaying or avoiding dating altogether. So the research recently found that 1 in 4 40-year-old American adults have never been married. I could say for myself that I actually got married for the first time at the age of, only been married once, at the age of 35. So I feel like people, more women maybe, push the marriages back because they feel like, especially if they're in their career, they're in college, and they have a lot going on and they may not be ready to start a family at that time. And so what they do is push it back, and they feel like, I have time. I have time to get married. I have time to have babies. I have time for it all. So a lot of people will push marriage back and not feel like it's going to be an issue later for them to get married or find a partner and get married. And my brain resolved back in, you guys. So it says the loan decline started in the 1970s, and since 1972, marriage rates in the US have fallen almost 50% and are currently at its lowest point in record history. Why is that? Why are people either not getting married, or better yet, a lot of people are divorcing? 50% is a high number. Individuals would probably say, well, what's the point of getting marriage when there's a 50% chance that it's not going to work, or we're going to end up getting a divorce? So some people may not even want to go down that road and get married. So, and a lot of us have maybe parents or grandparents that we know have been married for a long period of time. And right now, you don't see marriages really lasting that long. I could say my parents were married for 53 years. And my pastor and first lady, I think they are going to be married this month, 42 years. So you really don't see people being married a long period of time, and at least being happily married a long period of time. I know if I'm going to be married to someone for a long period of time, I expect to be happy. And I'm not saying that they're responsible for my happiness, but I am expecting to be happy. You're going to have some ups and some down times, but I expect that in that marriage that we both are going to be happy, but we're going to be responsible for our own happiness. Where the trouble comes in at is when people are expecting you to make them happy, when they are blaming you for their happiness or putting their happiness in someone else's hands, and then they're disappointed because what, that person cannot make you happy, right? No, you have to make yourself happy, and then you join with the one you love, and you come together and you share in that happiness. So even though they're saying that the marriage rates are have fallen in almost 50%, which is a very high number, there is still people out here that believe in love, believe in the traditional. And I don't want to say, when it comes to the traditional marriage, people have different definitions of what a traditional marriage is. So simply a traditional marriage or relationship, it tends to have a male partner who works outside of the home, who's the provider, while the female partner or wife is inside of the home. She's a homemaker and she's covering most of the home duties, the cooking, the cleaning, the children. She's taking care of all of that. So when I think about a traditional marriage, I think about the man being outside of the home and the woman staying in the home doing the home duties. Here is all.
Can we just have one show with no technical difficulties, no issues? Like it could just flow. Oh my goodness, God! Like all year, it's been horrible.
I know you
Ah,
said that y'all was having storms, so I kind of figured like, okay.
yeah, it's yeah. So the internet is like kind of jumpy in and out as it moves through. Um, so yeah, but I'm back. Hey y'all.
So I was just talking about my definition of what I thought a traditional marriage was. So you could share your definition with us.
Whew, okay. Traditional marriage. Um, man, woman, man taking care of, everything in the house, the bills, so forth and so on. Mom taking care of the kids. She's doing the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, those type of things. And everybody, both of them is contributing their part to that union. Um, whew, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a good one. We're definitely going to dive in and get in deep. But when I see that, I think about my parents and how long they lasted, and that's what I saw. Like they gave me what marriage was like, seeing them together for so long, and how they held it together, and the things that they did. Dad was a construction worker. He went out. He did. He brought the money in. Mom, she worked too. She worked at night actually. While during the day, she took care of me and all the other things. And so that little circle, what they had, they made it work. And that's what, we don't really see too much of today in this society.
We don't. We really don't. I feel like people don't want to put the work in. And it seems like once something happens, they like, I'm up. I'm not about to sit in this marriage or sit in this relationship. I don't have to take this. I feel like a lot of times our pride gets in the way of marriage and relationships as well.
Right. So I think the importance of marriage has diminished because of all of this new society. See, the main problem is it's this new age love versus old school love. Two different eras. They don't love the way that we loved back then versus the way they love now. And like you said, they're too quick to give up on their partner or on things versus hanging in there, staying abiding to your vows for better or worse and doing what you need to do. It's like, oh, something happened. It's easier for me to get a divorce or be up out of it or do something else than, deal with that person or whatever. Now, there are some circumstances and situations that do call for that, but some of them is just like, why? Why you should have never even got married.
And I don't know if people take getting like counseling seriously when it comes to getting married. I think some people kind of blow it off and feel like, we really don't need counseling, or they really don't take the time to get the full effect of counseling before you get married, and to avoid some of the problems that they may run into, and learn how, these tools and mechanisms of how to deal with problems, which one of them is not just running away and throwing the towel in on the marriage when you first encounter issues, which I think a lot of people do because people don't want to put in the work.
Well, that's true. But we also, things have changed. The traditional marriage. Just think about Coming to America. If you ever seen Coming to America, they used to pick their sons, pick the prince's his wife to be, and and so forth and so forth back then. Now they don't do that. They let that person find whoever. Like what's name, King Harry or Prince Harry or
Hmm.
whatever married the black girl. So
William,
Prince
Harry
William,
married Meghan.
yeah, Harry married Meghan.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, he was allowed to pick his bride. I don't think they was happy with it, but was that a traditional marriage? Or that was, the time had changed then.
I think his wasn't so traditional versus his brother William. They were really strategic at William picking a wife because she was ultimately, Kate is ultimately going to be the queen. So for Harry, it's not so much. He probably had free range to pick, who he wanted to pick, and ultimately they may have wanted to have a say, but he married her anyway.
Yeah. They say first time for love, second time for money.
What?
They say the first time you marry for love, and the second time you marry for money.
Wow. Well, when you think about it back, a lot of different countries don't get married for love. It's a business contract. Love is probably the last thing on the list, especially if your parents are picking this person and you really, don't have a relationship with this person. Love is nowhere in the picture. I think a lot of times we tend to pick, I don't want to say pick wrong, but we pick based on emotions, and a lot of times we don't pick right. We don't. We
That's
don't.
true, but I think a lot of people also they are in love with the idea of
Oh yeah,
being married
definitely.
versus actually being it. Like, they're what I see today, what they consider love or what they see as love is nothing compared to what we thought about as, love and being loved. Maybe because we're much older, we're seasoned, we've been around the block a couple times, so we know what to look for, what to look out for. So, like we said, we're not going to give up or throw in the towel once we know that this certain person is the one who make our heart jump or flutter every time when we see him, versus like, oh, he's cute. Yeah. I think they get into these marriages for different reasons. And those reasons that they do it cause them to keep raising the divorce rate and separation rate and different things in this world, this society that's still picking wrong. Cadillac, where you been, Cadillac?
He said
Cadillac
it's still
wheels.
picking wrong. I think I agree. I feel like people have their personal agendas when they get married, and whatever it is that their checklist is, and they're expecting these people to check off these boxes. And for whatever reason, we do have our own personal agendas when we get married. Some of them don't make sense business wise, family wise, and future wise, because a lot of times pick based on what's happening right now versus is this person going to be a good father for my children? Is this person going to be someone I want to grow old with? Like a lot of times we don't pick based on that. We looking at this person right now and what can they do for us now?
Right. And then you also have society. Society is pushing a lot of things in this world. Like you have now, what is that? We don't have to be. It's like a partnership app.
Yeah.
What is it called? After 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
uh, whatever that marriage is called, but you have that. I think Pennsylvania, Virginia, Commonwealth.
It's not,
Yeah,
yeah, your Commonwealth partner.
yeah. Like Florida here has like different ones. You got the Commonwealth, you got your partnership, you have same sex marriage. Like they're pushing so many things on us, and the way of tradition is starting to fade out. Honestly, like I mean, it's in commercials, it's in TV shows. Like I've never seen it at the rate that it is now before. You know, uh, nothing against it. You like who you like, you love who you love, but that just wasn't the traditional way when I was coming up.
It wasn't. And I feel like people are, because the agenda is being pushed on us, and that's all we're seeing really on TV. You never really see a traditional couple anymore. You may see a male and a male. You may see a mother, a single
Mhm.
mom with her children. You may not see a couple happy going off, into Never Never Land, because that's not what they want, right? That's, they're pushing something totally different. And I believe it's starting from our young kids that are in school. It's starting from there. Even having and I don't really want to say the wrong thing because I don't want nobody to get upset about um but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Having
There you go.
having people who were not born female come and read to the little children, and they get to see this. Like, little kids are impressionable, so they see things, and even if they don't know what's right from wrong, they figure like, oh, I want to be that. How can I be that? Because we glorify things. Hope I said that right.
It works for me. Look, you got to put the disclosure in there like I do.
Yeah.
Thoughts and opinion is of Lady Rochelle and not of intellectual radio. But you
Yeah.
have to speak your piece and speak your truth. Don't hide how you feel because you may offend somebody. It's you. I mean, but that's your point, and that's what we're here for, to get across. Because we hide too much of not hurting people or trying not to
Yeah.
uh, show that, oh, we're being too nice. We've been too nice, and that's what the problem is. This is why all of this is taking over, because we keep being too nice.
I I just feel like a lot of different agendas have been pushed and passed, and I identify as a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ, right? I have a relationship with Christ. So certain things in the Bible that, we don't agree with. And we always say God doesn't hate the person, but he hates the sin. And if it's a sin, and and then I have to say I don't like that sin. Not that I don't like the person, but I don't like the sin. So I'm for a man and a woman getting married, because God created two genders, a man and a woman. He wasn't confused when he did it. He didn't do it by mistake. He That's what he created. He was intentional about it. If he wanted more, he would have created more. And I know,
Absolutely.
and I know I may get some flack for that, but hey, you believe what you want to believe, and I believe what I want to believe. I'm not beating you up because of what you believe, but I will say what God created, and those are facts, and you can't take that away. If you were to die today, and they were to dig up your bones, and if you changed your sex, guess what's going to come up? Whatever sex God gave you at birth.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you with that one. So what else?
Um, I have a live life better. She's on Instagram and she was talking and she said, "Good evening." And she said, "Speak the truth."
I told you that. One day you'll listen to me.
Thank you, girl.
Say what you got. Say what you got to say.
You know,
It can't get no better than that. That's why we're here because we give them the real, the raw, uncut, 100%. We give them our experience. We give them what they need to hear and not what they want to hear.
oh baby, they're gonna push their agenda on you. And if you don't go with their agenda, they're gonna make you disappear. They're gonna make you seem this small because you're not listening to their agenda. Like your agenda doesn't matter, at all. So it's it's horrible.
Yeah. And then also now you not only do you have those agendas, but you also have people who are just cohabitating with each other and not even getting married. It's just like, look, we just going to shack up and say we together. I'm going to call you my wife. What method then say you don't need no ring to be my wife?
Right. I mean, it's acceptable to say, "Oh no, we've been living together for 20 years and we're not married." Like how? How? And I think that's why they was pushing to have, these laws in place so that if something happens to this person you've been living with for 20 years, now you're their partner. You could be on their insurance and you're not going to be left out of anything unless you put something in place in your will. But even in that, I feel like those a lot of those benefits are benefits for married people. And if you're not under that institution, then I just feel like you shouldn't benefit from it. That's just my thinking.
So you feel as though that they're getting their cake and eating it too.
I feel like if if the definition of married is if it falls within that umbrella of what they're doing, then either you get married or you don't, and you don't get the benefits of it.
I mean, their main thing is, look, I've been here for 20 years taking care of Jack, and now Jack suddenly passes away, and then you're not entitled to anything. But I've been the one. There hasn't been no kids here, ain't been no neighbors. Nobody has been putting in the work like I have for Jack. And you're going to tell me I don't call any shots? You go to next of kin. They don't even talk. He does. He never talked to the next of kin. Jack don't even know
But
who the next of kin is.
no, Jack should have put stuff in place for you. If he loved you that much and y'all been together 20 years, then he should have had stuff in writing to say, if anything happens to me, and get a lawyer, get it documented, get it signed, get it notarized, so that if anything there's no way that I'm going to live with a man for 20 years and then he passes away or gets sick, and then the family is going to come in and think they're going to take over and just boot me out. There's no way. He's going to, first of all, I'm not going to live with a man for 20 years, do that. But just to say, if that happened, I'm going to make sure that he signs some paperwork to say our bank accounts are going to be joint. Everything's going to be joint. Everything's going to be in both of our names. So if anybody came to try to do anything, they would have to go through me first. I would have it set up to where if something happens to him, if we're in the house will be automatically paid for. Like everything would be automatically paid for if anything happens to
But
him.
they have that.
It'd be in my it will still be in my name as well, so it won't be they wouldn't be able to come in. I think where confusion comes in at is that we get lazy with the person that we with and we don't take care of business. Like that's business first. We don't like to talk about stuff like, what if you die, what if stuff happen, what if you get hurt and you're handicapped and you can't do this, like what if I have to take somebody has to take care of you. Like we need to have those conversations so that things like that don't take place.
because they think that the GoFundMe that they call for after the person died is going to come in, and everybody all over the world now is supposed to help. But see, if you have a policy in place, you can put whoever you want on that policy, and there'll be no question. I can make you my beneficiary, Lady Shell. I can make Cadillac my beneficiary, whoever. So that shows you right there who's in charge, and who's going to get what. So no family member or nobody can come in and just take from all of the hard work that you did from that relationship or whatever the case that y'all got
Yeah,
going on.
that's true. Cadillac said that's true. Most people marry for the wrong reason. That's why they fall apart before the first 10 years. It's hard getting over that 5 year hump.
5 year to try 3 year.
They like, whoo, this is hard
Try
work.
3 year.
But
They're like, damn, this is married, because they think they still are in the relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, and they can just leave just like that. And it's not that easy anymore. It's definitely cheaper to keep her or him now.
it's work. He says, I think most marriages fail because one or both persons are not willing to put in the work. And it could be a simple argument that causes a divorce, something really
Right.
simple. And they like, I'm out of here. See ya.
And all he probably could have really took was just some simple communication to figure it out and made it work. And it wouldn't have led got to where it had gotten to.
That
We could have avoided a whole lawyer, judge, and all of that.
that's what a counseling comes in at. People want to skip over the counseling, but you need that counseling in order to know how to tackle and deal with issues. And a lot of times, Rizal, we talking to everybody else but our spouse, not us, but our spouse, about what's happening, right? So instead of telling them what's happening, we telling everybody else around us know what's going on besides that person, and besides going to get some help from a professional.
As I always say, can't nobody tell you nothing about me but me. So if you want to know something about me, come to me.
Trust me. I feel like, and I don't know if we mentioned this before, that how we have to renew our driver's license, that we should have to renew our marriage license in the same way, right? And if it's not going right, no, we're not going to renew. We're not. And but I think that probably give people an easy out as
I mean, but you know what? Some people might
well.
need it. Maybe after like a certain amount of time, certain years that you two have grown apart, maybe that would be the easier way without, a bad breakup or a bad divorce. That actually is kind of a genius idea. Now the question becomes the time limit. I know my license, and when I was in Jersey, my driver's license expired like every 4 years. Now I moved here, they expire every 10 years. I was like, well, golly, 10 years before I need a new driver's license? I'm for that. So, I mean, some people after 10 years, I think they get their vows or they get them renewed or
Renewed.
something like that. Or, they should do a check in like, hey, you're at your 5 year mark. How are things going? Do you still want to be here? Do you think you're ready to, get out? What's the problem? What's the issue? They should have like a, little goals in mind that, trying to get to. Everybody always root for the happy, for the forever. But there's things in between now and forever.
On your job, they do a performance evaluation. You have a year performance evaluation to see how you're performing. If you're not performing to what satisfactory or above where you need to be, then they're going to score you low and tell you what you need to work on and give you a certain amount of time to work on it, and then come and check back up with you to see where you are at. It's that simple. That's something that I think individual couples, marriages, they could do that on their own, but a lot of times I think we just don't take the time. We're too busy. And you may have couples that may do it, but It's not a lot. The number is not
Um,
significant.
yeah, I'm about to say I've never heard anybody saying or even talking about it or even doing what we just suggested that they should do. So that right there is more likely is off the table, and it's like you rather be miserable and stay in something that you don't want to be in than actually taking the time to say, look, them boxes ain't checking off anymore for me. Um, I think it's time to exit, or at least make it a peaceful, departure.
But then we have to realize that people grow. So who I am and who you are in 5 years may be different, in 10 years may be different, 15, 20. So we should be growing together. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, you outgrowing me, you doing stuff, and oh, he's getting his degree or he's starting a business. Like we should be growing together and not just sitting there looking at the one person doing stuff and you're not motivated to do anything.
Right. But can you imagine if society is like this right now, and at the rate at what we're growing, can you imagine what the divorce rate and what marriages are going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? It's going to be horrible.
It's scary. It really is scary.
It is.
It's scary. um I'm gonna read this comment from Instagram. Jeannie said, after I said I do, that was the first thing I did, change everything from his previous to me. Yes, I strongly believe that consistent counseling works. It helps identify with their growth. It does. It really does. Like a lot of times, I'm just gonna say this: when I was married, we got premarital counseling, and then we did get counseling as like if issues came up, we did have counseling as well. I feel like it could have been a consistent thing that we did, and I felt like that would have helped. But sometimes, if you feel like, how if you feel better, then you may not take your vitamins because you feel better, so you feel like you don't need the vitamins because I feel good, but you should still take them because it's still a defense mechanism, so in case you get sick it may not be as severe. So I feel like counseling should be a mandatory thing that people do in marriage, because we do grow, because we do change, because life is different. Just like when we went through COVID-19, we went through the pandemic. Some people was looking at their spouse like, who is this? Why? Because they never really spent that much time with their spouses, and it's like, okay, no, this not gonna work. We getting a divorce. I can't be in here. And then some of them maybe may have looked at their spouse like, yeah, like I would like to have this time that we're having. I want more of this. I feel like counseling should be mandatory. It should be something that happens in the marriage constantly, consistently, not just when you're having issues. Maybe, I don't know, once a month, or maybe more.
For count, you saying once a month for counseling?
It should be more. I feel like it should be maybe more than that.
Well, as society starts to weigh down and start to crush, you know, things, probably more would be good. But the all-time excuse me, nobody has time for it. I mean, they can go online like how it, but to actually go into an office and sit on that couch and y'all talk about y'all issues and differences and problems and joys and affirmation, all these different things. Nobody ain't got time for that.
I feel like we should. And a lot of times we get this list and we like write down everything that the other person is doing wrong, right? We can have a long list. Like first we need to take a look at ourselves. What is it that you're doing wrong? Like ask God to show you yourself, because we're not perfect. So when you're coming to this other person to tell them what you're not happy about, Look at yourself first. And I guarantee you that you're probably going to cut down half of that list that you have about the other person, because we're not perfect. But we're expecting this other person to be all these things that we probably can never be, to try to make us happy. Red said, I heard a lot of people saying it was better before they got married.
Hmm. It's funny. I've heard that before too.
Who are these people? Who are these people? I think that's why you should not rush into marriage. You should really take your time. And I'm not saying be with somebody 5, 10 years, but do the work. While you in this relationship, do the work to really try to fill this person out, to see if this person is for you.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody got time for that. I'm just gonna
What?
look. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna blow your mind, blow your back out. You in love. We get married and we just make it work from there.
Yes. Jeannie said on Instagram, she says, yes, counseling before the marital counseling. By the time they are at the marital counseling, the dress and the hall already have a deposit.
Well, that's because more people are in love with the wedding than they are making the marriage work. So if we stop, they're in love. Like I said, the idea, the music, the ballroom, and having all their friends paying all this money for people who ain't even generally happy to see you out there getting married to the person because they untold you plenty of times that person ain't the one, but you didn't listen. You went and got married anyway, and you gonna find out later. You gonna find out.
Absolutely. Marshall said, even at your 9 to 5, you have a weekly meeting to check in or accountability. It needs to be scheduled and made a priority. I totally agree. I totally
Well,
agree. You can schedule a haircut. You can schedule your nails. You can schedule getting your weave and your braids done and your toes done, your car wash, your car maintenance. Then you can schedule time to sit down with your spouse to do the work, to do the work. Where are we? Where do we want to be? Where do we see ourselves? This relationship, where do we see ourselves?
so you think 12, say 12 hours mandatory time with your spouse a week, is that enough to just sit there with that person and just talk and have intimate time and share ideas to maybe even catch up on that growth of where your partner is? Like, what are they thinking? Where they, where how are they thinking about moving towards the next thing for both of you? Or
I think there shouldn't be a time limit put on it, because I'm all about quality and not quantity. So it's, what are you doing with that time? What are we doing with that time? How are we putting that whatever time that we have to use, or to make it so that when we walk away from, if it's a half an hour together and we're talking about what we're going to do, are we walking away with a solution? What are we doing? Um, Cadillac said, if you have to be in counseling regularly, I think you have a bigger problem there. Hmm, it may start off as it being on a regular basis, and then as you guys mature and learn how to work at problems, you may have less problems, you may have a less need for counseling. But think about how you go to the doctor once a year for your annually, right? You're not going because you're sick for your annually. You're going for a preventive measures, right? You're going to get preventive things done, taken care of, measured, your numbers checked, all of that, just so you can make sure that if something may be lurking, the doctor can say, hey, let's get on top of this. Let's get this out of here. So you have to look at it like that. Marriage takes maintenance, and it's not a quick fix.
definitely, it takes a lot to It takes a lot to even fixate your mouth to say, "Will you marry me now in this in this day and age?" I'm gonna be honest, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. 'Cause you know how they say once you marry, like things start to change. Like, whoa, 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 where was all this? Like, I've been dating you for 2 years, 3 years. You didn't show no signs of craziness. Now all of a sudden you want to do this, you want to do that. Like, whoa, time out. Like, don't let that marriage change. Be the same person. Some people say that the paper don't make a difference.
Say they say. Marshall says, I feel if you come into the marriage with the goal of serving the other, you both have the right spirit. It is all about service. It
Hmm.
is. And if you're the type of person that's not used to serving, it could be a challenge. It could definitely be a challenge because this is someone that you may have to put their needs before you, right? You have to, before you make a decision, you got, oh, there's somebody else I have to consult. I just can't say yes. Now that we have a joint bank account, I just can't go out here and buy this Rolex watch. I gotta say, hey, dude, we got enough funds over here. This is what I want to do. Unless y'all have y'all joint account, then y'all have your own separate accounts to where y'all have allowances to do what y'all want to do. But you have another person that you have to consult with. So you really have to truly become one and not think as an individual. And if you're serving that person, think about it as serving yourself because they're a reflection of you. And the way that they act, the way that they look, it reflects on the partner.
Hmm. You just actually raised a valuable question and point in my head about, so if we have a joint account and we have our two separate accounts, and I go and buy a Rolex watch and not buy you a Rolex watch, do you think there will be some type of jealousy that will happen because I got it? I mean, I got what I want and you didn't, and now you looking at me sideways? Like, should I have gotten two Rolex watches, or should I just been selfish and take care of me, do what makes me happy?
If we have a joint account and all of our bills are paid, we have money in the savings, we're investing, and we both have our own separate accounts for us to do things that we want to do with that account. If you have enough money in your account to buy your Rolex watch, then whatever, then why am I going to get upset about you doing that? Now, if you're doing it and the lights get cut off and we sitting in the dark, then yeah, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to take that watch down to the pawn shop, or I'm going to take it back to where you got it and get my money back. Like, be responsible with when you're making purchases. And I'm not, if the money is there and everything else is taken care of, then why not? Why not? Why not? Um, Jeannie says being intentional with each other, especially if kids are involved. Counseling can be fun and allows you to explore fun facts about each other. I totally agree with that.
Oh, see, you just raised a whole nother. Matter of fact, this is going to be our topic for next week. And I
What happened?
read this. It's them damn kids. Here's the number one thing. If we're dating or we're in a relationship, you got, say, two kids from somebody else. I'm coming over with dinner and I just bring you dinner. Am I obligated? Am I supposed to bring your kids dinner too?
You said
And
if we're
if we're
dating and you bring me dinner.
we're I'm dating. Say this is second date. Say
Mhm.
it's COVID lockdown. It's second date, and I had to bring you dinner because we were supposed to go and I bring you dinner. I ain't bring the kids anything.
And I have kids, right?
I know you have kids, but at this point, are your kids my kid? Are they my issue? Are they my problem?
They're not your problem, but I will say it takes a different caliber of man to say, I'm going to buy dinner for the whole family. I know I can't take you out, but I know you at home with the kids and they got to eat too. So here's something for the whole family to eat. Now, if you just buy me dinner, I'm gonna take the dinner, but I'm probably gonna take it and feed my kids with it, and then I'm gonna be like, he's on do not. I'm on do not disturb with him because he's just not thoughtful at all. Like, that's not thoughtful. Mm, I would much rather you have maybe put some money in my account and say, baby, go buy you some dinner. I know we can't go out, but just, go buy you something to eat. But then for you to actually buy me dinner, bring it to me, and I got kids at home and they looking at me like, oh, she eating now, but we over here eating something she cooked. Like, mm, I don't expect you to take care of the kids. I don't. I probably would have refused the dinner. I probably would have said, no, don't, no, I'll just wait next time until we can go out, because I wouldn't want my kids to feel a certain type of way. And I'm not expecting you to buy them anything. But it takes a different caliber of man to pick up on she has kids at home. So if I'm going to bring her something to eat, those kids got to eat too. You speechless, Rizal?
Mm-mm. I'm gonna hold my thoughts
Don't hold
until
your
we
thought.
talk. Until we talk on this matter. That's all. Because what we came to talk about, we're gonna stick to the script
This
because
is part
we're
of
about
it.
to go sideways.
This is part of it.
Mhm.
Jeannie says these kids today will tell you about yourself anyway. So if you don't buy them no food, the next time you come over there, they can be like, "You bought my mom some food and you ain't buy us no food. That ain't right."
Yeah. But you also got to think that your
Or tell
influence
the
on the
or
kids is going to sway the direction of how she's going to think about you, because the kids are going to say, oh mom, I like him. And you can't buy the kids with gifts and all these different things,
no, you cannot buy the
but they're
kid.
going to love it that you bringing them dinner. But you
Yes,
do something you do something wrong,
they got
then
mama back, baby,
it's
100%.
a whole nother story.
They have their mom back 100%,
Oh yeah, of course, because that's her kid. She is always going to defend. Mama Bear is always going to defend the Cubs.
and they're gonna be looking at mama like, "No, you ain't over here eating, and he ain't bring us nothing." Like, mom, that ain't right. I know my girls would be like, no, he didn't. Like, no. Like I said, I would much rather us just wait until we can go out than for you to, or maybe send something at my work. I would rather you do that. But knowing that I have kids at home, I'm like I said, I'm not. They have a dad. I'm not expecting another man to take care of them. But it's just common courtesy if you're sending me dinner at dinner time and my kids are there and they have to eat too.
No, I
Get
mean you may
something
not.
like a pizza. That way everybody can eat from the pizza. But if you're getting something personalized, I probably will refuse it and be like, no, I'll just wait.
Well, he may not be the dad, but you also have to understand that that man is interviewing for the job of replacing that man in that house until,
It
yeah,
No.
yeah.
So normally I I do not. It, I don't make it a habit of bringing men around my kids, especially because I have girls. Mm, no, you're interviewing. If I say you're interviewing, I could just be dating you and not really trying to go any further with you. So there's no need for you to try to get to know my kids.
The whole dating process is an interview from beginning to wherever it ends up, whether they make the cut, whether they not, the whole dating thing is an interview.
I'm saying if you wanted to go somewhere, you may just want to just date and not have it go anywhere. And then I don't need you to meet my kids. I don't need you to know nothing
Yeah,
about my children.
yeah, but I might be the type of person like I don't even want to meet your kids until we are sure that we are on the same page about doing what we're doing. Now it's like I want to be there, but it's like, do I do the extra because I know you have kids and it's going to give me brownie points?
Mm. I feel like you just kissing up. I'd be like, okay.
Right. Yeah. You got to do a little kiss. Yeah. Yeah. You got to do a little kissing up. You got to
Right.
impress the kids because those are the ones that's going to help weigh the decision if me and you get together or not.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
cold,
they
cold. What J.
no.
Cole say? It's a cold, cold world out there.
I I wouldn't allow them to be the ultimate decider of if I'm going to be with this person because kids can be funny. Now, if it's something really strange or weird, they feel a certain way around you or something, then that would be different. I'd be like, no, like, but sometimes kids just they don't want you with nobody. They like, no, they don't like
Right.
nobody. Everybody like, no, no,
But
no.
yeah, that was about to be my next thing. Like, if your kids don't get along with the person who you're dating, do you stop dating that person? Like, what happens to the relationship?
That's
See,
why
I told you this is going into a whole nother
That's why
subject
I'm
now.
not even bringing you around my kids, right? So it's important for us to like each other first before the kids ever come into play. So if the kids see that mommy is happy, or daddy is happy, right, and you're dating this person, and they see you come home from dates, you're happy. They see y'all talking on the phone, you're happy. It's you know, and you're in a good, they see this person does you good, you feel good, they're gonna go off of that. They're gonna go off of that versus you buying them something, giving them money, doing this. Like they're gonna go off of that.
Then that's when I have to call that show help. I'm in a secret relationship to find out why you hiding me from the kids and everybody else. And now you like, why did I have to call? Then it becomes a whole big thing. See, just a simple conversation could have handled a lot.
Are you serious? Let's see. Marshall said, I heard a pastor say once he don't expect anything from his wife. So when she does do something, it's like thanks, baby. He says it's a plus. He does not expect anything. I don't know what that feels like. Oh, but I think he's onto something. I know that it reduces disappointment and stress. That is so, so, so true. That's so true. So, and this is where I have an issue with 50-50 relationships. Yes, I do. I do. Right? Because it it does create stress and disappointment, right? So, if you have someone who's able to do that, and you can put your stuff to the side or put your stuff in the bank and not have to worry or stress, then it takes so much stress off you so that I can be available for you, to cater to you. If I have to, we're both working a 9 to 5, and we both get home. You expecting me to clean and cook, or either if you cleaning and cooking and I'm dealing with the kids, like, mm, it's a different level of respect. I'm just gonna say it. It's a I have a different level of respect for you versus you're working. I'm not the type that stay at home. Let me just say that. I'm not the type that stay at home. Never had the opportunity or the affordability to stay at home. But I would like for you not to be okay, babe. Where's your half of the rent, babe? You counting my coins. No, no, mine should be additional. Like she says, it should be a plus in the relationship. But we know right now that a lot of men cannot afford. You have to have two incomes. The, there is not going to make it without having two incomes coming in the house. And yeah.
I mean, but that's that's not just men saying, but that's this world period of how things are because of the rise of inflation, grocery, gas, and all these different things. You need two incomes coming into the house, not how what my grandfather, you know, used to do, take care of grandma, and it was no problem. Things was much cheaper back then. It was, affordable. Well, we'll say somewhat
Mhm.
affordable for them back then compared to now. It's ridiculous now.
I think because we like to live above our means. We like to wear our salary on the outside in our cars, in our jewelry, in our shoes. And we're competing with the Joneses. That's why if you can make it, you just have to adopt a certain lifestyle. And that's the only way you're going to do it, because you because we like to live above our means. That's why it can't be done. If single women can do it on their salary, you mean to tell me that a man can come in and he's working a job making, I don't know, 60, 70K, and y'all can't live off of that? Something wrong.
Okay, so look, so they just, I think it's just California. So in order to rent, the average apartment is at least $2,000 across the nation. They want you to show three times the rent, which is $6,000. That means that $72,000 a year that an individual has to show that they're bringing in. Now, the average salary is about 46 to maybe 50,000 for a person. So
In
you got a
California, it's got
$20,000.
to be, it's more in
This
California.
is, I'm just talking about the court. No, where they're saying about where they're getting rid of that law, because California is ridiculous anyway. You paying like 8,000
Right.
for a freaking studio.
But you're going to
There in
be
New
making
York,
more money too. No, I'm
you're
sorry to cut
making
you off.
more.
You're making more. So if you're living
Not
in
every.
California, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be paying the jobs that you're going to be working. You're going to be able to make more to afford where you live in. Yeah, if you choose to live in California and you know what it costs for an apartment or a house, then choose the right careers, get in the right jobs to where you can afford to do that. If you can't, then go live somewhere else to where you can afford. You can get more house for your money. Go to Atlanta, go to Houston, go to Arizona.
Okay, so Auntie Rent has been $950 for years. And because inflation and things has gone up, her rent is now 2,000. Her social security check is only 1450 that's coming in. So you're going to tell her that she has to go get a job, go live somewhere else after she's been living there for 22 years?
I'm going to say we need to make better choices and plan for the future. We need to make better choices and plan for the future. We can't live off Social Security. We can't even live off our pensions. You're going to have something else. You're going to have to invest. You're going to have something else going on, because it's not going to work. You have to buy some property, do something. And we have to do something else. We do. And if you have a person out there in your family that's going through that, then you should be trying to help that person do something. Buy a building, put that person in your building, and get rent that way.
Do you know how hard it is to buy a building these days? And even if you teamed up with somebody, do you know the chance of even trusting anybody to help you buy a building or do anything? Even the government says we have affordable housing, but that affordable housing isn't affordable. Nobody is affording that, what they're called. And now you have to be so like dirt poor, third world country, dirt poor, just to get assistance or anything, and you have to prove it. Like the terms has gotten even worse than what they were before. Before you can just say, hey, I'm this and that. Now you got to show like, look, I just gave 2 pints of blood last week. I'm on my last leg and this and that, because they not give, because it's so tight. Things have gotten so worse. People has really milked the system for what it is. And this is why they want to get rid of the system. They wanted welfare, all that. They want it all gone. It's been milked way too long, too much.
Yeah, we have to do better. We do. We have to do better. You have to, and this is where if you're married or you're deciding to live somewhere, you need to sit down and have a meeting and say, okay, this is our income. How much does it cost to live here? And you need to really make a decision on where you're going to live. Is it safe for our children? Where we're going to raise kids if you don't have kids? But like I said, we're too busy wearing our stuff and driving our stuff instead of investing, instead of purchasing real estate, instead of saving.
Well, purchasing real estate is a nightmare. We purchased this home, and I never want to go through that experience again because of what they put you through. Like I felt like I went through a whole scared straight of finances. Like, so, Mr. Gilmore,
they
you
want you to
purchased
do
that
that.
beer in '95. What did you do with the money? Like the things that they do, they like really deter you from buying the things with the. I feel like I'm on trial for things
Well,
that I did, that they look at on your bank account. Yeah, I bought me a nice TV. Oh, you still paying for that TV? What are you doing?
yeah, but that's because you are what they call it 1099. Are you 1099?
I'm
That
1099.
Yeah, that's probably why it was like that. But you have the average person that's working a 9 to 5 that been on their job for 20 years.
Mm,
They should be
it's
able to, you have a paper trail. They should be able to purchase real estate without it being, it's going to be stressful anyway, because this is a big purchase, probably the biggest purchase you're ever going to make in your life. So, um, it's also a way to build generational wealth.
well, it's not only just a purchase, but it comes down to credit. If your credit ain't correct, and then you have to, I know they say that you need no money down, no, you need money.
You need money.
You need some
Yes.
money
Yes,
to
you do.
put down. They can woo you and make you smile all you want, but you need some type of money to put down, whether it's a
Yeah.
3.5, depending on the price of the house or home or whatever it is that you buying, you need some money. So if you ain't got no money,
Yeah.
don't
They,
even waste your time.
they may say, oh, there's no down payment, but you still got closing costs. You still have to pay for the inspection. You still have to pay for the appraisal. You still have to come up with earnest money. So, yeah, you do. You're right. Marshall said, yes, and becoming one is a process. I think we are skipping over the comments. So she said, let's have fun doing it. It could be a fun process, but people don't, we get so comfortable and we don't take the time to really get to know our partners in depth. So then when they start acting strange and doing stuff, you're like, who is this person? That's your person you pick. That's your person.
Well, well, if you're married, you have a lifetime to figure it out and go through the process. As Marshall says, yes, and becoming one is a process. So let's have fun doing it.
Yes. Marshall said, look, if you can't bring a meal, please don't bring anything anytime. Don't bring anytime.
See, food is the key.
It can be. It brings people together.
Save
Yes,
your coins, you might need them.
exactly. Save your coins. Don't even bring it over here. Don't. She's talking about those browning points.
For doing the basics.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
No, no, no. I'm
Bringing
trying to think.
bringing
I
you some
remember
food.
saying get the brown. Oh, but that was bringing the food. Yeah.
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, it's getting dark.
Yes. A lot of times we do focus on the wrong things. And I agree. Kelly, like, what was this? What was this look for? What's that? Michelle said, move to a place you can afford. As a man, you need to be a provider. I'm telling you.
Marshall,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but the way how America is moving, ain't no place beginning to be a place that you can afford. It's all getting expensive everywhere.
That's true, but But then again, you can. It's because you're trying to live places that your money cannot afford.
No, I'm trying to live places where I'm going to feel comfortable and
Mm,
safe.
yes.
I'm you, look. If I've been living in the ghetto so long, look, I'm tired of being here. I'm going to go for the gusto. Yeah, give me the glitz and the glam.
But you got to be able to afford it.
Shoot, even the ghetto is getting expensive.
So, does we're talking about our traditional marriages outdated? Does it make sense to even get married? Does it make sense? Am I better off just being single and we cohabitate? What are the benefits of us joining together and getting married? I think it's different for each individual, but
I mean, everybody has their reasons.
I will say, like, for most women, it's probably people say, "Oh, you don't need that paper. Oh, you don't need that ring." But I think for a lot of us, it's the security of knowing that you just cannot just get up and walk away from this. Like, you can walk away from the marriage, but I mean the marriage, but it's we're still married on paper. So whether you're here or not, there's still going to be some things that you going to be held accountable for doing, whether you want to be in this house or not. Especially if I have kids.
Yeah, yeah, because you're binded now to there until you legally separate and eventually you get a divorce.
Yes.
So,
So I think the security thing is I'm not wasting my time with someone, just cohabitating with someone, and then they could decide because there's nothing holding them here, and for some reason we feel like the marriage, the paper, the ring will holds them there, and it's harder for them to walk away because when you think about it, most divorces are initiated by women, so men they don't. I mean, I really feel like you have to be doing some really crazy stuff for a man to be like, I'm divorcing you. I just feel like you got to be doing some crazy stuff because most men don't. They don't initiate it, and I feel like they don't. I don't want to say this in a bad way, but I feel like some of them, not all. This doesn't apply to all. I feel like some of them are just too lazy to go through the process, so they figure like she'll do it. I just wait. She'll do it. I let
now
her.
it becomes a waiting game. I'm just going
Yeah,
to wait it
she'll.
out until you go file. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna remain miserable and unhappy
No,
until
y'all
you go file.
separated.
So,
Y'all
so,
no, y'all separated. He's in his own space. You in your own space. And then he's
oh
just
yeah,
like, I'm just gonna wait. She'll file it. I'm going on with my life.
yeah. Until you meet somebody and then say, nah, well, you need to go ahead and make that official, and now the pressure is on.
Exactly. Exactly. So what would be oh God, it's 7:16. We don't went way past an hour. So what would be your final thoughts, Rizal, as it relates to our traditional marriages outdated?
Um, my words of wisdom: a real marriage isn't perfect, and a perfect marriage isn't real.
Hmm, interesting. Um, my final thoughts would be to take your time and get to know who you're choosing to spend the rest of your life with and who you're choosing to, if you decide to have kids, you know, get to know this person and look at them like, would they be a good father? Would I want to have kids with this person? Would I want to grow old with this person? If something was to happen to you and you needed this person to take care of you, you needed this person to change your pamper or to feed you and get you up, get you dressed, and to bathe you, would you trust this person? And would you feel like this person would be capable of doing those things? I would say choose wisely.
Hmm. That's definitely good advice. That's definitely needed. As I told you, J. Cole, it's a cold, cold world out there.
Choose wisely. All right, you guys, I want to recognize my sponsor, who is Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. She's catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. Head on over to marykay.com/GDOTSON for some amazing products. And of course, Warriors Talk is always looking for individuals to share their testimony. If you're a cancer survivor, if you are a survivor, period, we are looking for you on Testimonial Monday. Just inbox me the word ready, or you can email me at warriorstalk1@gmail.com. In Warriors Talk, we'll be celebrating our 8th annual Survivors Night of Reflection Gala. I'm so excited. Join us on Saturday, October the 19th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall. Tickets are $60. We're going to award a warrior in battle and also gift all of the survivors there with an award as well as swag bags. You can be a sponsor. You can just email me or inbox me. And we're also looking for vendors. And you can also sponsor a survivor to attend the event for free. So join us and come out, bring the entire family. We always have an amazing time.
Ooh,
Mhm.
those hours, 11 to 3.
Yes, those are brunch hours.
It's like a brunch day party.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thanks, Rizal. I appreciate you very much. Thank you guys for your feedback. Join me next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio. Well, join me next Monday. I will be on Intellectual Radio. We'll be on YouTube, Instagram, as well as Facebook. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is none other than Rizal, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.